EVs are still moving forward in most of the world, all of the good parts anyway. Heck, I've even been to a couple of them. They're pretty nice, but you know what? In North America, things are struggling a bit, especially in the US, but also for our neighbors to the north. When it comes to our neighbors to the north, I have to bring on my favorite ambassador for the Great White North. It is Mark from the Tesla Life, a certified Canadian, but we don't hold it against him. Tariffs have been paused, at least on my show. For now, we'll see. We're going to have a chat about battery projects that have been canceled and some other things. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So, Mark, you heard the news. It's very unfortunate. What we're looking at here is Goshen's colossal battery factory in Michigan is dead. This is not Canada, but it is a battery factory near Canada. Some of these batteries could have gone to Canada. We're starting with this. I mean, parts of Michigan might as well be Canada. I'm told by friends in Michigan. In the Lower Peninsula, they don't always feel the same kind of love that the others do. What's going on here?
Well, we've got the turmoil of tariffs that are causing ripples in the automotive industry, and this is one of the ripples. When you've got projects that are planned that you're going to want to put in place, when you knew what you thought the business plan was, tariffs have changed the landscape. So now companies are filled with uncertainty as to what they can do with their products, what tariffs will be applied today and tomorrow and in 3 weeks. And a lot of companies are pausing future enhancements or projects because they're not sure about what the playing field is going to be like in the near and for further future.
The battery industry is a low-margin business. The upfront costs are very high. You could spend easily hundreds of millions, if not billions, building a battery factory. And if you're in a business where pennies count and the pennies are being trimmed, that business may no longer make sense. And that's kind of what we're facing. State of Michigan promised more than $100 million in subsidies, of which it has already dispersed $23 million, but the Economic Development Division is now asking for that money back and has canceled the rest. Hey, can I get that money back for a deal that you and I both mutually agreed to? I don't think you can, but if that's how we're doing this, we're out. Getting to the other side of the border, 2 Kbeck battery supply chain projects hit the brakes, by the way, last week in the comments, which were mandatory, I think. Today, I think we can let them be optional, but they're highly encouraged. I was given several polite corrections on the pronunciation of Kbeck. They said, you know, Jeff Beck, imagine his sister's name is Kay.
That's it. Yep, Kbeck. That's how they pronounce it in
That
Quebec.
Works for me. That works for me. So what we're looking at here, the electric vehicle slowdown is being felt in, you're not even going to cut me some slack on that one. The planned expansion of a battery facility in the city has been put on hold, while the plant that was supposed to feed it has been canceled. What's going on here?
This is, again, more ripples. Unfortunately, we've got as you mentioned, a new battery plant takes a lot of time and money to get into order. And you've now got a bunch of regulations that have changed. And with those slim margins that batteries make, you add a 25% tariff or greater onto a battery price that has to cross a border to get to a customer, and you've blown the deal. You're not going to get companies that are going to pick up that extra amount of money to roll it into a pack that they were planning to sell for some amount of money that now has changed. So we've got this issue where everything has changed in the automotive industry.
So the trick is, if you want to sell those batteries south of the border, they're going to have a tariff. And if you wish to sell them north of the border, put them into a vehicle there, and then sell that vehicle south of the border, it's going to have a tariff. So it's not just that these vehicles, that these batteries were going to be going into US built cars, which would then get their own IRA credit. That IRA credit's gone. The factories are gone, and the tariffs are hitting it from all sides. And as we discussed last week, Bright Drop factory in Canada, what's going on with those Bright Drop electric vans?
The workforce had been put on pause for the past 6-7 weeks. And it was just announced a couple days ago that GM was not going to be producing the Bright Drop van in Ingersoll, Ontario any longer.
Okay. So if you can't build the vehicles, okay. Is this a different story here? Government ends funding for Northvolt, or is this the same one?
That's a different one as well.
Oh my gosh. The government's walked away from Northvolt AB's Canadian electric vehicle battery plant, closing the chapter on a high-profile project derailed by the company's bankruptcy. This feels a little bit outside of the government's responsibility and control.
Yeah.
But this is another battery plant that's going.
It's another domino, unfortunately, that wasn't caused by the tariffs as mentioned, but we've got a company that's not moving forward and has given up on their hopes of creating a new factory. And I have to say that a lot of this is just the headwinds that people are now facing and seeing and saying, you know what, is this the best time to invest tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in something new when we are really unsure if the sand we rest our feet upon is not going to shift?
It's a tricky business. Businesses love long-term security. Predictability is what the markets need. And we've seen a lot of inability to predict in the last few years, making it quite tricky. This article sums up the two different projects we just talked about. And it's explaining that, it's being indefinitely paused. A nickel sulfate plant meant to supply it has been canceled. And it's because, if GM is scaling back production. And on the Michigan plant that we talked about first, I don't know if you've heard, there was a fire at an aluminum refinery that has led to the suspension of Ford Lightning manufacturing.
Correct.
That reasoning sounds a bit specious to me. I don't understand how you couldn't get other aluminum, but
actually, Ford has put all their eggs in a single basket when it comes to the forming of their vehicle bodies. And as they pointed out, gasoline versions are more profitable. They're not going to be able to produce the same amount of vehicles this year or next, possibly. So therefore, they're going where the money is, they believe.
If you sell a Ford Lightning, it doesn't mean you took a sale away from Tesla or Rivian. It means you took a sale away from your own internal combustion F-150, which is your cash cow. So you're trading something for which you're getting a 10, 15, 20% margin for something on which you're getting 0, maybe 3 to 5% margin, maybe negative. It's an easy business choice. As always, we are going to answer your questions here in the show, as we do every week. If you have questions, we will answer them. If you don't, who knows? Sometimes we answer those too. But first, I wanted to say that next week, I'm going to be in Austin. The Austin Owners Club is putting on an after party after the shareholders meeting at the Boring Bodega, which is going to be cool. It is free, but you must RSVP or you will not get in. So yeah, while I will be there, I don't think there are any panels or anything set up. And if there are, I haven't been invited to them, but everyone, all the cool kids will be there. And if you are in Austin and you didn't get a shareholder ticket, this is an even better event. Go to it. Support the club, the Tesla Austin Owners Club. Cool stuff, good community to be part of. Now, because we do what we do, we're going to answer the questions. Here it is. And of course, you can like this video. It remains complimentary to do so. And it's complimentary to us as well. So that's cool. Let's see what we've got here. First question. Awesome. What else can you do on a Friday night fighting the flu?
Watch a few more of Brian's videos.
Absolutely. If you run out, which is unlikely but possible, head over to the Tesla Life. Find out what Mark is up to. I don't know which direction. They move me around sometimes in post, but that direction. Well, let's see what we've got here. The supercharger network is obviously amazing, but I wish Tesla would give us a more aggressive charging curve. The peak of 250 kilowatt is fine, but it drops off so early. It takes longer to get to from 10 to 80% than a lot of the rivals out there. What's up with that? Is there a chance we get an update that makes charging times plummet?
I don't know if you get a plummeting with the current lot of vehicles, but let's keep in mind that the Tesla's collecting the data on all this at all times. So they're the ones that are covering the warranty on their batteries. They're looking at what the charging rates are. They can see what it does to the battery, and they're making the choice that we have to keep it in with an acceptable level so that we can service the warranties that we're providing. So I don't see it plummeting anytime soon. You may get tweaks, and we have seen tweaks in the past where they've increased charging a little bit, but plummet, that sounds like a lot to me. I probably wouldn't be waiting on that to happen.
I'm going to agree with you on that. We have seen it happen in the past where Tesla would, especially when the Cybertruck first came out, people looked at it and said the charging speeds were abysmal. And I said, hang tight, see if it changes. And it did. As they were able to gather more data and see what the limits were, they improved the charging curve. But while a Tesla battery taken care of can last 200, 300,000 miles, it's not good enough if they just get it out of the warranty on you. I think they could increase charging speeds and still get you 120, 130,000 miles. But they don't want to have the reputation of their cars all dying at 130,000 miles. They want to protect not just initial buyers, but all owners. So I think that's it for now. Battery chemistry is still improving. As soon as they can make those improvements, I believe they will. So I'm agreeing with Mark on this one. On the air fresheners, if I wanted nostalgia, I'd have a Manure-Scented one. Yeah. On baseball, I saw a photo of one of the current sluggers, and all I could think of was Sosa versus McGuire, which is when I stopped paying attention to baseball. On GM holding back the electric car, okay, but who made Steve Guttenberg a star? I just said your idea makes equal sense, specifically the scented nostalgia air freshener. And JD Luke said, they're the same picture. Yeah. By the way, I watched the Blue Jays game in its entirety last night.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
It was so long. Not only was it tied for the longest game in World Series history, but it was so long that every commercial break, I'd watch a little bit of other TV show, and I got through like 2 episodes of other things just in the commercial breaks.
was that the longest game in NBL
18 in
history?
Ties the World Series history.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not for regular season. I mean, go back to the olden days. I'm sure there was some crazy ones, but it was brutal. And hey, Brian, GM claims to be building FSD by 2028. Don't know how that's the claim. Any actual truth to this marketing piece? Do you think GM will have FSD by 2028?
I'm fairly confident they will not. Just based on their past history when it comes to putting dates out there on things. And also, is it really FSD or is it something that they're saying is like FSD?
My guess would be the latter. I didn't bother to dig into the claim. What I said probably was that, well, let's see what I said. The challenge of full autonomy is massive, and I'm not seeing the kind of progress we'd expect to see if they're going to have a finished product in 2 to 3 years. Where are your billions of miles of testing? Well, we have a way to shortcut that. You're going to surpass Waymo's 15, 20 years of R&D in 2 to 3 years? No, you're not.
And look what
Maybe.
they did with Cruise. They kept it for a couple of years and then they axed it.
Mm-hmm. Not in it, you can't win it. Okay. Mm-hmm. By the way, this one, not a question, but still no superchargers in Bellingham, Washington, which is kind of close to the border when you're heading up to Vancouver, BC. And it's a weird place to not have one. It's the largest city once you get north of Everett, Washington, until you reach the border. No chargers. That's something. Next time the votes come around, I'll be putting a vote in for that because
There
that's
you go.
crazy.
That's something you can do. You can vote quarterly and nominate Bellingham.
Mm-hmm. And what I do is I find people who also need my vote and I swap votes with them because I think you get 5.
You
So
get
this
5.
quarter I put in 2 for myself and then traded the other 3 with people who needed them. I need, oh yeah, here it is. Jeff Beck, his sister, Kbeck. There it is. So lesson learned, I have internalized. Thank you so much. Energizer squirrel, Energizer. Either way, I'm going to get a pronunciation on that. I know it. Car air freshener for EV drivers, maybe a carbon dioxide scent for people who want to die as early as gas car drivers do. Key is lost. Love it. Love it. Uh, no notes. No notes. Guys, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Head over to Mark's channel, find out what the Tesla life is up to this week. They do a great show every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I keep telling him, make it 4 Pacific, but 6 Eastern, and he refuses to do it.
That's
He
tough to
says,
do.
it's tough. And I'm like, hey, with the Lord, all things are possible. Everybody else, like, subscribe, stay tuned to Juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, perhaps at next week's shareholder meeting. Ooh.